my parliament, my planet. Pennelope Beckles, Minister of Planning and Development of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, with responsibility for planning and development. So Trinidad and Tobago's government has developed and implemented the National Climate Change Policy, which of course will deal with issues relating to strategies and actions to adapt to climate change. The policy, of course, focuses on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting renewable energy, and enhancing resilience to climate impacts. And that policy has been updated to incorporate the Paris Agreement. Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory of the Paris Agreement. Legislation to give effect to climate change showed their subsidiary legislation under the Environmental Management Act, drafted for the mandatory reporting of greenhouse gas emissions, as well as the reporting under the Enhanced Transparency Framework of the Paris Agreement. And this includes the tracking of the NDC achievement, adaptation actions, and financial support received. As it relates to the energy transition, policies related to fiscal incentives for the update of electric vehicles, we have actually implemented a policy that deals with the removal of import duties associated with taxes as it relates to electric vehicles. It's known that Trinidad and Tobago is a fossil fuel economy, and we are one of the first countries in the world to have drafted a comprehensive policy to address the issue of just transition. We've also looked at integrating climate change as a national development issue, policy for the integration of climate change into national development process by incorporating climate risk and responses in all sectors being pursued. I would say that the COP process is the only multilateral and intergovernmental institution available for addressing climate change through the international climate policy regime as agreed to and established by world governments. And if we think about the fact that we're looking, of course, of the Paris Agreement, 10 years, we're looking at 20 years plus since COP started, I think that it is true to say that there have been significant improvements, significant achievements, but we must agree that it always requires a collective effort. I would suggest that we need to continue to be hopeful. COP29 is dubbed the Finance COP, must deliver on an ambitious global finance goal to enable vulnerable countries such as small island states to address climate change for all the reasons that I have spoken to previously. And I would say at a minimum, COP29 must also advance the discussions related to the capitalization of the Loss and Damage Fund, advancing on the adoption of the Just Transition Work Program, advancing on the adoption of the Mitigation Work Program to enable the ambitious NCDs, and advancing agreements on the modalities for following up on the outcome of the first global stocktake. I am, as someone that has had the opportunity to serve at the UN, I'm conscious, and I can say greater effort is being made to address issues as it relates to small island developing state. But again, the critical issue is capacity building. So as we talk about going to Azerbaijan, to Brazil, we're not far off even in thinking about COP30 and how we make developments and changes. As CARICOM, we have been meeting our CARICOM countries to prepare ourselves. There are meetings that are held continuously following the last COP. And I feel that we are hopeful that finally, having had the decision on loss and damage and adaptation, we now look forward to putting in place the committees and the operationalization of the funds.